Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Signal. This is the Daily Preparedness Brief for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. The top story is Iran, nationwide internet blackout and escalating unrest. This is a phase change event. What's happening? Iran is experiencing its most severe nationwide internet shutdown in years amid widespread anti government protests. Authorities have cut off mobile and fixed internet phone services and restricted communications as protests escalate. The blackout has significantly disrupted daily life, banking, and business operations across the country. Internet blackouts and communications suppression are being enforced to prevent coordination and external reporting. Citizens are seeking alternatives like Starlink, but the regime is actively jamming and confiscating equipment to enforce the blackout. International condemnation is growing, sanctions and diplomatic pressures are expanding, and U.S. leadership is considering expanded internet access support via satellite services. Why this matters: a total or near total communications shutdown combined with rising fatalities and regime countermeasures is a phase change indicator, moving from isolated protests to broad destabilization efforts and increased repression. Things to watch: the status of the internet blackout, nationwide versus localized, along with the movement and availability of satellite internet and the jamming countermeasures. In addition, international sanctions and emergency diplomatic offers. It's also important to watch the oil prices, as volatility can be linked to unrest in major OPEC producers. Preparedness actions. For global supply concerns, consider contingency plans for energy price impacts, secure fuel, and review transport essentials. For communications risk modeling, reinforce alternate comms strategies for your group, such as mesh networks, satellite communications, and ham radios, in case of regional disruptions. U.S. domestic security and protests. Recent localized protests. Protests have taken place in parts of the United States related to the proposed federal immigration facilities and enforcement actions. While these remain localized without nationwide coordination, they signal community tensions around federal policy implementation. Preparedness actions. Maintain situational awareness when traveling near civic centers or during routine community gatherings. In addition, confirm alternate routes and safe meetups with your local group in case of temporary road closures or demonstrations. Major geopolitical conflict signals. Broader assessments point to ongoing tensions among major authoritarian states with independent threat vectors, including China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran, though they remain operationally distinct rather than a unified strategic bloc. Continue to monitor Russian military engagements related to Ukraine, China's domestic information control measures and regional pressure dynamics, Venezuela's political stability, and any external intervention or sanction developments. Preparedness actions. Track shipping routes and insurance notices for geopolitical risk signals that may affect imports or logistics. Update your energy preparedness plans if disruptions shift supply chains or fuel pricing. Economic and infrastructure spillover. Structural pressures on power and energy networks are present globally due to policy shifts and intermittent generation challenges. No immediate large-scale outages reported beyond Iran, but grid reliability remains a watch item amid policy transactions. Preparedness actions. Evaluate your local energy contingencies, backup power, and fuel storage for short disruptions. For supply channel sensitive to shipping or rail congestion, plan for delays in critical deliveries, such as medicine and food staples. In addition, I wanted to note that we are currently monitoring the price of gold and silver. Gold's currently at $46.43. That's $37 increase for the day, and silver's appears to be poised to break $90 at $89.48 as of the time of this recording. So the critical signals to monitor in the next 48 hours: Iran's internet status and communication suppression, Starlink and alternative comms access coverage, domestic protest dynamics, energy price movements and supply delays, and actions that you can do now. In a summary: diversified communications, which will be Mesh-tastic, mesh networks, ham, and satellite options. Emergency group planning, check-in procedures, rendezvous points, roles with your mutual assistance group. Supply assessment, aim for 30 to 90 days of key essentials, such as fuel, medical, based on your local risk profile. And avoid high-tension areas. If traveling, adjust routes and times to avoid protest or civic disruption zones. This has been The Brief.